Hello, it's Excalibur yet again with some more commentary of Homefront. This is just some ground control on Crossroads. And I spawned in this game. Somehow I ended up skipping through the introduction a little bit too quickly. Ended up with my assault class. What I've been doing quite a bit in Homefront is switching up to using some more sniping capabilities. I stopped using my SMG class completely. So what I ended up doing is actually swapping out and putting my the M110 sniper rifle in that spot, and I have a pretty good setup going on there as well too. So, you know, it's helping to improve my game. Having a lot more fun in Homefront as well too, as expected. And I'm sort of staying away a little bit. Well, not a whole lot, but I'm still more or less staying away from my assault classes. So it creates more variety in the game, creates more effectiveness, I guess, as a team, supported game as well too. So just a bit of a switch up. Anyhow, that's not really what I wanted to talk about at this point in time in this commentary. There have been some recent updates and patches to Homefront on PC. There is one that addresses a major issue that I had personally, and I mentioned also in an earlier commentary. What actually happened was I had respawned into a match, and somehow my whole class setup was set back to default. So I was pretty much back to level 1, and you know, there's no explanation of why or how it happened. So I got kind of ticked off, and well, I was quite pissed off actually, because I thought everything was gone, and I started freaking out about it, and I got onto the THQ support site, wrote a nice little detailed email and message and stuff like that to the support team. Sort of see how quickly they can address the issue, but you know, it turned out that it wasn't just a matter of PC having the problems. It was right across the board. Even console players are having the same problems, and they acknowledged that in a later email, which I just got, I think, the last week, which means it was a total of about, what, 2 weeks before I heard back from them, something like that, give or take. I don't want to be flaming them too much, but yeah, it took a while, but that was one thing as well too, so I'm sure the patch actually fixed up that problem. But when I got back into the game, everything actually came back. My whole class setup was there again, so it seems like soon after I submitted the issue, everything is back up and running, so I was pretty happy about that. The game has been very stable ever since then, so there's been no real issue that way. But with the more recent update as well, you know, they've enabled DirectX 11 capabilities, which means that, you know, your system resources are actually down to more of a minimal, and you have, you know, greater degree of hardware performance and things like that now. So basically all my settings are set to high. Overall capability in game is actually improved quite a bit. Whatever sluggishness was there is now pretty much gone. So, you know, thank you THQ for that. I really appreciate it. It's made a performance in my game. I've also had to change my personal setup with my box. I added a case fan to the side, so that costs for some extra ventilation. I have a Scythe Gentle Typhoon there. Runs at about 1150 RPM, so that actually exhausts quite a bit off my graphics card. And you know, I had to increase my fan speeds at the front of the case as well too. I didn't realize they were running so low. So all that stuff has actually played up to a better experience overall, and you know, still Homefront being what it is. You know, I'm spawning into here in this situation here. I spawned in as a secondary on this Piranha. DT, KT is actually driving, doing a pretty fantastic job, I have to admit. So between the two of us, we're holding down the position pretty well in the center of the map. And usually if you're sitting in the center with a vehicle, you're a prime target for anybody with an RPG, but, you know, luckily he has, you know, pretty good cover here. We are kind of holding back behind these tractor trailers. And shortly as well too, you'll see there's going to be a tank coming up here on the far end of the map. And the one thing you sort of end up experiencing here in a lot of Homefront games, what you think might start off as a sort of a negative score, you can actually change it around pretty quickly. Using cover, using effective weapons, but also, you know, being objective in your gameplay, not just rushing around like a little maniac. And here it kind of shows that experience as well too a little bit. So it's nice to actually be to link up in a vehicle with someone who's actually doing well to hold down positions, because we have pretty much A and B locked down pretty hard. And here we finally take out this tank. And this guy actually is running a perk. There is one that actually has been added to Homefront specifically, which before your vehicle blows up, it'll actually eject you out of the vehicle. Little things like that is he really helps. What makes for a better gameplay all around. And of course, he tried to rush up with the Humvee. He respawned into a Humvee and tried to take us out. But yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. At this point in the game, I don't know, what he was doing that way. So, having a person in a vehicle with you as a secondary, it really helps to make it for a more effective game type. So, that's the end of my commentary. Feel free to like my video, and your comments are appreciated. Cheers.